Welcome to my YouTube channel, philippospan. Weekly tips and tricks on how to work with Microsoft Office applications. Be wise and subscribe. Today's video will be about Microsoft Outlook.
How to set automatic replies out of Office in Microsoft Outlook. An auto-reply email message is an automatic response that we create and contains helpful information such as working hours, out-of-office info, holiday details, and any other info that we or our company thinks necessary. It usually contains additional information that we will respond once the inquiry is received and may be links to additional information that may be helpful to the customer. Once we have Microsoft Outlook running, we select the File tab to move into Backstage View. Once in Backstage View, from the drop-down menu and from the left, we select the category Info if it is not already activated. Then from the middle of the Account Information task pane, we locate the command name Automatic Replies out of Office where we are notified. Use Automatic Replies to notify others that we are out of office, on vacation, or not available to respond to email messages. Once selected, the Automatic Replies window appears where we can. By default, the checkbox at the left of the command Do Not Send Automatic Replies is activated. We can activate the checkbox at the left of the command Send Automatic Replies. Once activated, we can define by activating the checkbox the time range for when to send the automatic reply. We can then define the start date and time and the end date and time. We can select if we want to send the automatic reply inside my organization by clicking on the button. We can also select if we want to send the automatic reply outside my organization by clicking on the button. If we select this command, the automatic replies window expands and displays the command which we can activate the command. Auto reply to people outside my organization, and then select if we want to send the automatic reply to my contacts only, or anyone outside my organization. Finally, whatever we select, we can type in the text box beneath the message that we want to be sent as an automatic reply. Once we type in the message to be sent, we can also format the text by changing the type of font, the size, and use many more other options. At the bottom left corner of the automatic reply window, we can also create a rule to be more specific. Finally, we press the OK button for the automatic reply to be created. I have typed in the text that I want to be sent as an automatic reply and then press the OK button. Once created, in Backstage View and with the category info activated, we notice that automatic replies are being sent. At any time, we can turn them off by pressing the Turn Off button. Also, when we return to our inbox in Microsoft Outlook, we can see the informational header mentioning automatic replies are being sent for this account. We can also deactivate them by pressing again the Turn Off button. The automatic reply has been already sent.
Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw in this video, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, head down to the comment section and let me know. Be wise and subscribe.